Hey, everybody, thanks for being here today. Those of you who are joining us on demand, who are probably hearing this first, because if you're live, you're not here yet. So those of us that are joining us on demand, the recording, thank you for being here in a special edition of, it's not even the Rundown with Ramon. It's a special discussion with my friend Claude Silver, who many of you know. If you don't know, you're going to get to know her in seconds. But thank you for being here, really celebrating. And it is for me, it's a celebration of her new book, Be Yourself at Work. That Claude, I was just outside in my, housing development out here, ran out. I could track the package on Amazon. I'm like, oh no, sir, rarely do I do it. Is there anything for Ramon Ray in house so-and-so? And he's like, I got you. I got 100 boxes, but he pulled it out. So
Oh,
Claude Silver, welcome. I hope your day is going well. How are you, Claude?
thank you. I'm so good. I couldn't be happier to be here with you. I really am. It's a joy to be in your presence. So thank you so much for having me.
Well, it's mutual. And Claude, thank you always for saying yes to me. I really appreciate it so much. And hey, Ken, I'm glad you're here. We're going to bring you on in a few minutes. But thank you so much for saying yes to me over the years, Claude. I really appreciate it and what you do. Claude, for the few who may not know you, unpack who you are personally
Yep.
and professionally. And then we're going to quickly make a hard dive or nosedive or something we're going to do and dive right into the insights of the book.
We're going to go left. We're going to take a left turn in
I love
Albuquerque or something. My name is Claude Silver. I am a mom of two. I live in New Jersey. I work with Gary Vaynerchuk, otherwise known as Gary V. I've been with him for 11 and a half years. I am the Chief Heart Officer at VaynerX, which is an honor, and very humbled. And I'm an author now, Ramon. The book is out. The book is here. It's here. It's out. And I'm really
Indeed.
stoked on that. I know. Oh, look at that. And I recently did my first TEDx talk, which was really cool too. So all these wonderful things. I love snowboarding, and
Nice.
I love music, and I have a real deep belief in human beings and what we are,
Mhm.
what is possible for us if we really put some intention into it.
I love that. I love that. Again, feel free to speak as freely as you want. I do have some questions, but if you, as our mutual friend Seth Godin says, wants to riff, that's fine too. And as I said, Claude, just to set the audience, my good friend Kedma was going to join us in about 10 minutes. Kedma, thank you for your patience. And Tina and two or three other friends will join us in a few
Love
minutes.
it.
But Claude, why don't you just start right at the top? I do have a few questions, but just give you the space. Why did you do this book, Be Yourself at Work? I have a few guesses. Why did you do this book? And what's inside? Take
Yeah.
off with it. What's inside?
Well, I'll tell you what, I did it for a couple reasons. One, I wanted to give myself a challenge as a adult that is a high
Mm.
functioning adult, but juggles a lot, the job, family, whatnot. I wanted to give myself a challenge to see if I could begin and finish.
Mm.
And I started thinking about this book 10 years ago. I started writing it in 2020, 2021 during COVID. So
Mhm.
it was a start and stop process for sure, because I had to kind of deal with my own, uh, you know, uh, harshness in there in that brain. And I
Okay.
had to really reset a few times, definitely a few times. But really, the other reason I did it is being in the working world for the last 30 years, being in many offices, being in many different cultures. I have seen a lot of people struggle. I have seen a lot of people feel like they have to hide themselves. They have to shrink in order to find their place. They camouflage themselves, code switch, whatnot. And
Mm.
ultimately, when you see human beings suffering at work, you're like, why in the world is that happening?
Mhm.
Why are you here and having a terrible time? What is it that we're doing? What is it that you're contributing to that? So, as you well know, I joined Gary 11 and a half years ago, and I was on the client. I was a client partnership person. We didn't have a
Mhm.
chief heart officer. We didn't have HR. We didn't have any of that. And a year into
You
me
were dealing with
working,
all the people. You were dealing with the brands and going back
yeah,
and forth and doing this and that and
doing
all that stuff.
all kinds of stuff.
Yes.
Plus, like, trying to grow the business that we had. And a year into it, it just dawned on me that I didn't want to be on the front lines of advertising anymore. It just didn't matter to me, red, green, purple, cursive, it don't matter to me. But what mattered to me was the teams that do this, right? And so I said to him, said to Gary, you know what? I love it here. You're the best, whatever, but like, I don't want to be in advertising anymore. And he said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, I only care about the people here. I care about the heartbeat.
Mm.
He said to me, I need you to stay in the role 18 more months. And, but what Gary doesn't remember is I swear I said, I'll be here 6 more months. So I found my backfill and I actually
Love
resigned.
it.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
Good, right?
They were very kind. Um,
Mhm.
I actually resigned, but I hired a coach to help me because it's scary.
Mhm.
And
Mhm. Yes,
resigning
yes,
to like the greatest, human behavior
yes,
salesperson is not easy.
right?
And he'll tell you that as I'm there resigning, he's thinking, oh, how can I get her back? So,
Love it.
but during that year when I was, in those meetings talking about the color and the font and the blah, 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 I was getting depressed. I was really
Mm.
getting depressed. I wasn't doing the work I was supposed to do that I'm here to do. And that's when I said to myself, you know what? I see this in other people all the time. And now it's me. Now it's affecting me. So, A,
Mhm.
I need to do something about it, get myself out of that situation. And B, really start paying attention to the patterns that I'm seeing when people
Mm.
are depressed, despondent, overworked, everything in the workplace. And it was time to just all of a sudden say, you know what? There's another way to do this. There's another
Mm.
way to do this. And so that's why I wrote the book. I don't think it's hard. I think there's some really easy tools that people can do to really start with self-awareness and getting to know themselves first.
I love that, Claude. And you have some fans here. Shout out to Oksana,
Uh,
who's heard you or seen you and other things. So
Thank
kudos
you.
to you from
Thank
Oksana and Brian Schulman. Again, thank you for your shout outs to Claude and all those things. Appreciate it. So,
thank you.
Claude, I'll dive into a few things. And really, the bottom line here, I have it on the screen. We're not going to read the whole book and go through it, everybody. That's not the purpose of this. It's to really help us understand that there's hope. I think that's what I'm
Yes,
hearing from you, Claude, that there's hope.
there is. Yep, there
Thank you. And that
is.
there can be a better way. But I encourage everybody to go to beyourselfbook.com, beyourselfbook.com, as we continue with this amazing discussion with Claude Silver. And then in just a few minutes, I'm going to invite some of my most amazingest friends, Alexandria, Kedma, and
Can't
Stars
wait.
Tina, to join the conversation. But I think, Claude, one thing I want to say is that I have 10 things right in front of me that I have the book. The book is highlighted in here. I just went through it for a few minutes. But I think one thing I'll talk about, Claude, is emotion. Can you help me understand just the role of emotion and how we show up? Because on one hand, emotion's bad. On one hand, don't show too up emotion. One thing, no, be emotion on one hand, but we got to get stuff done. That clouds in the way. So you're the expert, as it were, in case of this conversation. Why was emotion so important even to mention in Be Yourself at Work?
Great question, because there is such a force out there saying, do not bring your emotion to work. Clock in, clock out. We don't know you. We don't want to know you. Don't come close to us. Right. I mean, I'm a Gen Xer. That's exactly how it was. Right. It was like I had my life after I left at 5 o'clock. And, God help me, I got a therapy or a dentist appointment on a Saturday.
Mhm.
Right. I wasn't
Yep.
going to tell anyone I was out of there to go to a dentist appointment. And the fact is we're emotional beings. So to
Mhm.
lock that up is doing ourselves such damage. It's just putting more and more weight into this backpack that we carry every day at work,
Mhm.
right? And we're emotional people. So what I'm saying is figure out who you are emotionally,
Mhm.
what your values are, what are your triggers, what are your things that like light you up. Figure that out first. And then, as you can, dip a toe in the water, dip a leg in the water, and start showing up and sharing more of yourself, not as a blah, but in an emotionally regulated way. No one wants to clean up your stuff.
That's powerful. Then you're not saying just let the emotions go.
No,
You're saying how you do it, and there has to be a certain way, but
yes,
do bring
yeah,
them. Go ahead.
but do bring them because it would be so weird of me, Ramon, if I got on the show with you and you just said to me, tell me who you are in your personal life, and I completely jumped over the fact that I'm a mom of two.
Yes.
That would be weird for me.
Yes.
But I could do it if I felt like that was the energy I was in. I wouldn't wanna do it. So, listen, we start our day at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., whatever.
Mhm.
We go to the gym. We get in an argument with our spouse. Our kid
Mhm.
spills Cheerios all over the floor. We had the best day of our life and got engaged yesterday. Whatever it is, Then we turn on the laptop and I'm
Mm-hmm.
supposed to just go, what? So
Mm-hmm.
what's going to happen if I got in a fight or I had a terrible morning with my kids and I go like this? What? You know what's going to happen? I'm going to have an outburst during the day. I'm going to let it rip somewhere, whether or not it's inside me or in a meeting. I'm going to, and that ain't cool. That I don't subscribe to. You know, the other thing, as we know, Dr. Susan David says all the time, we are not our emotions. Emotions are data. They are signposts for us to just give us information. Oh, wow. That meeting when he interrupted me 3 times really, really frustrated me. I am frustrated, but I am not an angry person. I am feeling frustrated because of that situation. It's up to me to now do something about that. But I don't want anyone to bottle that up and go like this, shrink. We don't need people to shrink. But that's not the world we live in. So that's really why emotion and why it's so important to be okay with sharing parts of yourself, parts of yourself. And as we know, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they are sharing a lot.
Yes, they
They
are.
want,
And I
yeah,
assume you can grow with the shares too, right, Claude? Meaning then I'll get to a second question I'll bring in our panel here. But I think you can grow with it as you get to know each other. Maybe on day one, Claude didn't share everything, but as Claude and I work together, we're sharing laughs, she may share a bit more. Is that a
that's
fair?
exactly right. Little by little, I might tell you, like, you know what, something great happened to me yesterday, and I just want to share that with you. Or like, hey, I'm having a really hard day because I'm going through a breakup, and you just
Yeah.
maybe I want you to know that if I'm not myself today. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah. One of the first things you said in your book, and then get ready, ladies, I'm going to bring you all in for our discussion and have you all ask Claude, and we'll have a discussion together again as we celebrate the launch of Be Yourself at Work by Claude Silver.
Thank you.
I think it's probably the first things I highlighted, but when we show up, we stop wasting so much energy pretending to be someone we're not. I'll make a confession to you, Claude. Seth Godin is one of my archetype guys who I just love. I look at, analyze, and as you know, Gary Vee, I love him as well. Been on the stage many times. And Steve Harvey. I find myself at one point kind of low key trying to be them a little bit, kind of like we can move from the stage of admiration to them. So unpack that statement, which I think is so powerful. When we show up, we stop wasting so much energy pretending to be someone we're not. What does that mean? Unpack that for us, Claude.
Yeah. So, for example, if I started speaking to you in a way that was so foreign, all of a sudden I had like a PhD from MIT, and I was like, this is how it is, and I'm analytical, and here you go, and here you go. You'd be like, Claude, what is going on with you? That's not you. And I'm like, yeah, it is. It's me. It's the new me. That is a facade. And to put that facade on takes a lot of energy before I walk in that door or walk on that stage to all of a sudden be like, let me just pretend that I'm someone else right now. Now, there's no problem in like getting vibes from Gary, getting vibes from all these people. Like they're inspirational to us. I don't want to be them. I want to be Claude, right? And it took me years to want to be Claude. Let's be clear. That's not you don't just pop up and be like, oh, yeah, I love myself. But to make myself twist myself into a pretzel to be something I'm not because I think you're going to like me, you're going to promote me, you're going to put me on the winning team is a waste of my energy. I don't want that. I would much rather you just be you and me learn to like you and connect with you in a much more organic way than anything that is fake.
Yeah, for sure. I love that, Claude. Listen, I want to bring in my friends here now, Claude. If I didn't, they'd be like, Ramon, you said we can come here, you can ask Claude. No, they wouldn't say that, but these are some of the most amazing humans in the earth. And everybody, thank you, Claude Silver, for being here. Appreciate Be Yourself at Work, celebrating this book, which is so needed. I've already dived into it, and I'm going to dive into it again and read it slowly. But let me do all the clicky things here. Claude, it looks like everybody's ready here. Alexandria Nicole, and I'll adjust the lenses in a bit, and I'll make some introductions. This looks good. Let me see how I can do
Hello.
this. Perfect. I'm going to get rid of the
Hello.
lower thirds. And
Hi, everybody.
Hi. This is exciting.
it is exciting. So Claude,
This is exciting.
indeed, meet Alexandria Nicole, meet my top right, meet Kedma, and meet Tina, before we dive into the interview, Alexandria, just give a one line of who you are, Alexandria, to Claude, and then I'll go around the room and we'll continue with our discussion. Alexandria.
Yeah, well, Claude, like you were saying, we're a lot of things, right? But I am the founder of an organization that honors business owners and professionals, and we curate spaces to bring those people together so they can do deals and so they can grow and learn and really elevate together. It's called
Love it.
Elevate Your Growth. So thank you, Ramon, for the invitation, and thank you, Claude. There's definitely a synergy because I myself created this space based off of feeling like networking was very transactional and there was a lot of posturing. So I appreciate
And I'm going to dive into a
invitation.
question from you, Alexandria. 1 second. Kedma, please tell Claude who you are and how amazing you are. Please, Kedma.
Claude, it's so nice to meet you. I'll keep it brief. I wear capes on stage. I helped leverage 100 million in grants during COVID for business owners. And today I'm on a mission to help business owners hybrid their companies through remote assistance. It's an honor to meet you.
You too. I love that. Love the cape.
Yes.
It's a cape indeed. It looks beautiful.
It's a real cape.
Thank you, Kedma. Yes. Stars Tina, you did meet Claude earlier, but please just refresh for everybody here who you are and who you serve. And then we'll dive into
Hello,
questions.
good morning. Yes, thank you, Ramon. Hello, Claude. Hi, everyone on here. I am Tina, also known as Stars Tina, and I'm a life and health coach. I am the founder of Elevate 360 Center. So when I heard her say Elevate, I'm like, ooh, what a great name. And it's a holistic wellness center for women that have gone through some type of trauma or tragedy. And I use fitness classes to empower women to get through with classes, workshops, all that wonderful stuff. So I'm super excited to get into questions for you.
Thank you for doing that. Thank you for that.
Well, with that, thank you, Claude. With that, Stars Tina, jump right in. What is your question for Claude as we celebrate the launch of Be Yourself at Work? Go ahead, Stars Tina.
Yes, I'm so excited. So Claude, being that the authenticity, the transparency, that is super simple for me. But I found sometimes when I say, hey, how's your day? Sometimes they just kind of say a little bit too much and they keep going and going like, oh my gosh, it's worse than like the dog die. Like, it's horrible. And I'm like, okay, I got to pull them out of it. But I wanted them to feel heard. But then like, we don't need all of this dump here in the meeting. So where do you find that balance with letting people speak their truth and then not too much? I would love to know.
Okay, great. I love the question. I have a question for you on top of that. Say that's happening to you. Do you share with them anything?
Meaning what happened with me?
Are you vulnerable? Do you let them into a little portion of your life?
100%.
Yeah. Okay, great. So they obviously feel very comfortable that they can connect with you and they feel somewhat safe with you. And so I do think if you have the relationship with that person, you could give them some wonderful coaching, which is called boundaries, and empower them in that way that, not everyone needs to hear about all of the trauma, all of the mess. That's not to say it's not important and that you are not enough. You are, and you are worthy of getting your messages heard. But there is a place where Tina starts and stops, and it's right here, and where you start and stop. And those are healthy boundaries, because when people are just giving it all, I really feel like they want us to take care of them. You're not able to take care of them. You're able to walk beside them. Saying that, letting them know, but I can't fix it. I have no control over you. I am here. I want to walk beside you on your journey, right? I want to be here. Like, I got you and you got this. But also it's really important to know what is appropriate to share. And I think that's really okay to share with people. Depending on who you're talking to, you'll find the right word, which is, you might not want to share that with everyone.
And I think this reinforces, Claude, the aspect of that leaders need to learn how to do what you just said. And I think the employee or the person working needs to know how to share and how to be ourselves at work. That's kind of, I think both sides are important.
Yeah. Well, especially in these younger generations that are coming up, which is like, they just want to share it all.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Want to share it all. And and I'm in those meetings and I do let them know, like, thank you so much for letting me know that you have ADHD. We can do something about that. When they say I have complex PTSD, I can't do anything about that. So what I'll say to them there is, I'm sorry to say that. I just want to make sure you have someone on the outside to talk to. And that's how I'm actually creating that barrier right there. I want to make sure you have someone to talk to about that. which is by saying that.
I just want to say thank you so much. You have no idea how much this helped me, because I have group meetings a lot with women, and someone will say something totally out of the whack. And I'm like, I don't want to sound rude in the middle of the meeting, but afterwards I'm like, was that a question for therapy or a question for accountability meeting with your health and wellness?
Yeah.
And this goes over corporate America. But Kedma, I want to bring you in. Kedma, again, I know you do this. You lead people. You talk to people. This aspect of how do we be ourselves? You and I have talked about this, Kedma. What's a question you have for Claude regarding how do we be ourselves at work?
Claude, thank you so much. So one of the things I've noticed is I feel like a majority of people, and you could challenge me on this, majority of people are walking around with trauma. The trauma may have happened decades ago, but it's very present. You know, part of my story is I escaped a very violent environment and I was in hiding for 5 years. So I actually disclosed my trauma on stage, which is why I wear capes. And I'll give you a real example that just happened recently. I've been having friction with someone back and forth. I couldn't figure out why. And I finally said, you know, something's just not making sense. And he says to me, I didn't want to tell you this, but you remind me of my ex-wife. Oh. And that was a...
Thank you.
So I said to him, I'll tell you what I said now. I said, listen, if I remind you of your ex-wife, I think I'm at least deserving of half the house.
Exactly.
And so we both laughed.
Yeah.
So the question is that, you know, we live in a society where more and more AI and metrics are removing the human connection. And we're dealing with a lot of trauma where I have to tell people all the time, you think that they were grown up with values. You have to realize that we may have to parent the values that they didn't have when they're walking into our environment.
Yeah.
So I know there's a lot there.
There's a lot there. There's a lot there.
You got to clarify, Kedma, just for my sake, even just summarize that one more time for the audience. What's the kernel that we're bringing out?
The kernel is really that we're working in this environment where most of us are bringing in our trauma, whether it's conscious or subconscious. And now we have to invite, how do we decipher it if we don't even know their trauma? I'm someone who discloses the trauma. Hey, I have PTSD. Here's what it looks like. But I'm in the 1%.
Yeah.
So how do we deal with the trauma? You know,
how
people,
do we deal with it?
She said, how do we deal with trauma in a workplace, Claude?
Yeah, I mean, how are we dealing with the walking wounded? That's really what it is. And there are a lot of us out there for a whole bunch of reasons, which we can get into in another show, right? In how we grew up and then the genesis and all of those things that we've swallowed, I would say. And so the thing that I would say, honestly, is our vulnerability is so important to be vulnerable as you do on stage on a very, very, very different level. When I am meeting with all of our residents and interns that are 19, 20, and 21 years old, just coming out of school or haven't gone to school, and that's great too, immediately I will let them know that, A, I didn't graduate until I was 28, and I probably wouldn't have unless it was so important during that day to have a college education. B, I'm highly dyslexic, and that used to be a scarlet letter for me, and now it's a superpower. So I want to say that immediately, and again, completely different, our stories, but it's so important for me to at least share something so that they know I'm human. I have red blood. I am just like them. If I could do this, you could do this. If I could get to the C-suite, you could get to the C-suite. It's all a matter of what you want and where you put your focus. Why not? And I would say, first and foremost, the idea of self-awareness is something that can be taught to an extent, but the person has to go on their own journey, right? You can teach by example. You absolutely can. You can do, I have a big whiteboard in my office at work, and I'm always doing values exercises and asking this person, like, what makes you so great? Why does that want you on that team? I really try to elevate it. Why do they want you on that team? I'm strategic. What does that mean? Break it down. What are your values, right? And really trying to help them at least understand who they are on paper so that they can see that. And then I go into, what are you telling yourself? What do you mean, what am I telling myself? That voice that comes up like every 5 minutes in your life. Like, what are you telling yourself? We'll sit, we'll get present, And they'll say, well, I'm telling myself I'm dumb. I shouldn't be here. Like I'm an imposter, right? And so then I work with them really right there on this, on which I do in the book, which is called the lie exercise, which is we're telling ourselves lies always on repeat, especially based on our wounding, especially based on what we took from most likely childhood, right? Or what. And so is that true? Are you really dumb? Let's see. Well, you've been here, you got hired as an account director, and okay, no, not dumb there. You're working on this account and they really need you. Oh, okay, you're not dumb there. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so you're not dumb. So what are you?
Wow.
And in this next column, let's figure out what you are. You have to come up with the phrase. I'll help you. I'll feed you. But let's come up with a different phrase that you can plug in because you're going to take I am dumb out. It's not serving you anymore. It's going to take a while. So I am a different kind of learner.
Right.
My superpower is being able to spot patterns in people. Great. Does that light you up? Yeah, it actually excites me. Great. Write that down. I want you to write it in your wallet, on your laptop, in your bathroom mirror, in your car, everywhere, because every time this lie tries to come in, and it will try to come in every second, I need you to actively program your brain to something else. So a long-winded way of talking about teaching self-awareness and then emotional regulation, which is very difficult if you don't have self-awareness or empathy for yourself.
Claude, are you hiring? I may send you my resume to work with you. Man, if I can get like a, you know?
Do it.
Yeah, you know what? Well, okay. But listen, everybody, we're talking to Claude Silver, Chief Heart Officer of VaynerX. Be yourself at work. Join with my good friends Alexandria Nicole, who's going to join us. Talking to Kedma O, talking to stars Tina Wilson and Amazement. So follow all these ladies as well. And I know the little captions are not there, and I'm not going to figure out live how to put that back on. Alexandria, what's your question? Feel free to take the mic to talk to Claude Silver.
Yeah. So Claude, my question is, was there a moment with your commitment to empathy created a transformative change at VaynerMedia?
Oh, that's a great question. So I'm going to break it down. I thought it was going to be a different question, which was when was the moment you kind of found your empathy? So I thought it was going to be that, which is valid because I did at some point, right? I have had to be a part of some really tough decisions, which, oops, did we lose her? Oh, nope, I have had to be a part of tough decisions, tough, really challenging conversations where someone may not have a job after the conversation. How do I enter into that conversation is everything. So they already know me. They've already known me. There is a comfort level. Probably we've created some psychological safety together. The first thing I'm going to do is say, hey, Robert, it's good to see you today. Hey, it's good to see you too. I just want you to know this is going to be a really challenging conversation. Why am I saying that? Because it's going to be challenging for both of us. I mean, that's why I'm saying to you, right? And I want to do everything I possibly can to walk into that conversation with grace, but also with some action items after that. So fortunately at Vayner, we have an alumni program. If we are letting you go, your next meeting is with the guy that runs our alumni program, and we are going to try to fit you into one of these amazing roles that we have. Why? Well, we want you to have a livelihood, but also we want to stay connected to you. Just because it didn't work out here doesn't mean it's not going to work out there. When that conversation happens, and I am empathetic and I am hopefully full of grace and generosity, I have prepared. It's not a, oh yeah, great. Who's on my laptop now? Okay, great. Let's have that conversation. So that's a big one for me. I think also other ones are with parents, and especially working moms, which are, it's not easy to balance everything that a working parent balances. I'm going to say most of the time a mom or a different kind of caregiver, the emotional weight that we carry is very, very difficult. So to really be able to extend that empathy, again, I describe empathy as walking alongside you, not taking it on. I can't. If I take your stuff on, I can't be helpful. I'm walking beside you. I put my hand on your shoulder figuratively and say, I got you and you got this. And And that's how I go about creating that safety and that connection in the room with whatever conversations I'm having, whether or not it's one-on-one or it's multiple. And to do that also, just got to break down that I'm human. That's the thing. Like we're human. We're human. This is a job or your career. You have a life.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to fill that life with? Want to be unhappy at this job? You want to find something that you're stoked about. So I actually think by having dyslexia, it really allowed me to learn about people in a different way and really capture patterns and what is the word? Physical behavior, leaning in, rolling your eyes, all of that stuff. And so I really try to meet people where they are.
I love that. Alexandria, I feel, Alexandria, that you have a follow-up. I could be wrong, but it feels like the look of your face and your brow, maybe not. I have a lot of questions.
No,
Feel free to have a quick follow-up. And a little freeze in there, but that's okay. Yeah, I'll dive in. And again, and by the way, Kedman, Startina, anytime you have to jump or if you have to go, I know we're live, but it's okay. If y'all have other things to do, we'll be here for another 20 minutes or so, then give Claude some more time back. But thank you, Claude, for being here again. Be yourself at work. Okay, you're back. Alexandra, did you have a quick follow-up? And then we'll
I did, just to kind of elaborate on what you said, Claude. But yes, in leadership, we do have to learn how to lead with empathy, but also care without carrying. Mm-hmm. And I'm in that season in my life personally.
Yeah, Alexandria, you are freezing up a bit, Alexandria. So what I'm going to do here is just, I'm going to just take you off for a bit, and just so until you come back to a space.
What I would say is, if Alexandria comes back on, or I'll just say, care, compassion, and candor are so incredibly needed. Care, compassion, and candor. Without everything comes down to care. Everything comes down to, empathy is an emotion. How do I express that? Is through kindness and care, kindness and compassion.
Yeah,
and I love that. That's where it starts. Not these big jargon words or these words you see on the side of your building or whatever. That doesn't mean anything unless people are embodying it and know how to embody it.
For sure.
Yeah.
One thing you mentioned in the book here, Claude, is about labels.
Yes.
On one hand, aren't labels good? It helps us understand Democrat, Republican, black, white, I don't know, Coke, Pepsi, whatever the fun things, whatever the label is. On the other hand, I know labels, and I'm just, not telling you, I'm just riffing here, can be maybe dangerous or the bane of our society, whatever. So my point is, dive into labels. Why was that so important about Be Yourself at Work?
Okay, well, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Hey, Jack over there, he's a low performer. Oh yeah, Jack's a low performer. Oh yeah, he's an underperformer. Oh yeah, he's an underperformer.
Oh wow.
He'll always be an underperformer now. Miracle that happens. Unless there is a miracle. Wow, she's going to be vice president one day. She's going to be vice president one day. She's, all those stuff. God, that person's dumb. Or, God, that person just isn't getting it. Or my favorite one, and I mean this sarcastically, is she just doesn't fit in. What do you mean by she doesn't fit in? Fit in to what? Fit into your mold of what blah, blah, blah should be? Or fit into what this culture is created with, which is adaptability and flexibility, right? So that labels can just, and listen, we put labels on ourselves. We put labels on ourselves. So I'm always going to say, let's point our thumbs at ourselves first before we point our fingers at someone else. Right. And so it could just be damaging, man. It can just be like, what happens if low performer Jack all of a sudden heard that he's a low performer?
Well,
that's going to be some
damage. What are we doing instead though, Claude? Help me understand. So what are we not using something? Should we use something? How can I identify and say, hey, Claude's a rock star? I mean, it could be positive too. So how do I, how do I use a label?
It could be positive, but Claude's many things. Why is Claude a rock star? That's like a low performer, but actually he's really great for our culture. Very nuanced.
Oh, I love that.
If you're just black or white, that's okay, great. I can see that. What else you got for me? You know, are you a student of philosophy? You know what I'm saying? Do you, do you lift weights after work? All of these kinds of things that make us human. And to say only he's a low performer and we're going to terminate him. But what happens if he is good for the culture? What happens if, no, we want to give this guy a chance on one of our other companies? We have many companies.
So good.
I like
So
that's
good.
powerful. Stars Tina, I'm going to give you a chance. I know. Oh no, Kim, I didn't see you. Go ahead,
I
Kim.
did.
Jump
Okay.
in. Let's go.
I
Bring
love
it.
this. I want to talk about corporate America. So corporate America loves to send out employee surveys. I want to know who got a employee survey. And then what they say is, this is anonymous. Just give me your employee number, but I promise you, no one's going to know anything. And I will tell you, I've never told the truth in any employee survey because I don't feel safe. And this is my story. I just don't feel safe. How do we get corporations to do really truthful surveys in an environment that gets the truth out and makes people feel safe?
Yeah, well, I agree with you on corporate surveys. Don't use them and don't do them. I wouldn't tell the truth either. Plus, I elaborate. I'm a communicator.
Right.
So the thing that we do, and listen, it's not utopia where I work at all, but it's high touch. You have to be willing to have people, leaders, humans, me, that are high touch and checking in with people and understanding from their mouth to my ears. Listen, you can use AI to ask, okay, give me a list of questions I can ask
Sure.
to suss this out, right? AI is going to help me like that. But then it's me and looking at you and holding space, holding space for you. We need to teach our leaders how to do this much, much better, because that is what's going to create the safety. And not everyone is going to have the same level or tolerance of safety as me, you, or the other person, right? But it's literally like, talk to me. Talk to me. And I can't just be like, oh, I just met you, so talk to me. We have to have some kind of relationship that we're building. And I really think that's where we miss the point so often in these companies. People just got laid off from Amazon and their computer just shut off.
Ugh.
They couldn't make a phone call. You can't text someone, Slack someone, like, hey, can we have a quick, I absolutely don't understand that. You have to be that efficient and just shut off 14,000 people's access? Well, I certainly don't feel safe there.
And trust and safety, I think, Claude, is a important word. Stars Tina, please jump into the conversation. What do you have for Claude Silver, author of Be Yourself at Work? As she's talking to Kedma O, Stars Tina. We just had my good friend Alexandra Nicole, who was with us as well. And again, Claude, appreciate what you're doing. Chief Heart Officer at VaynerX. I encourage all of you to go forth. I'm just going to bring this up real quick and check out the book. Don't get it for Claude's sake. She don't need you to get it for her. Get this book for you. It is highlighted in pink throughout, and I've looked at it, and I'm going to do it again and again. Thank you all for being here today. Stars Tina, the mic is yours.
Yes, I'm super excited to get this book. And this is my question. As a leader, you're the leader. How do you yourself pour into yourself? What are your principles that you need to stay on track so you can be authentic and, I don't want to say happy, but pleasant with the people that you work with?
Dare I say, content. So I am a person that I'm a situational extrovert. I can turn that on when I am at work. I can turn that on stage. I then need to wind it down. What I get to do is I get an hour to drive into work and an hour to drive home. And that is the most incredible time for me, because I need to either get myself geared up for work, I listen to music, call my best friend, whatever, listen to a book. And then listen, the minute I walk in the house, it's dinner time for the kids. It's bath time. I'm on. So I need that unwind time. I'll have silence as well. I do a lot of meditating before I go to bed. I listen to meditations. Tara Brach is the person that I really resonate with. So I listen to a lot of her meditations. But I need to be outdoors. I need to move my body. I need to, whether or not I'm teaching the kids to ride their bike without the training wheels. I just found a $20 bike on Amazon Marketplace so I can ride with them. Like I have to, but Starstina, the thing is I know what I need now. If you asked me 20 years ago, it would have been different. And if you asked me 30 years ago, I wouldn't know what to tell you at all. And, I'm a believer in therapy. I'm a believer in, reading and writing. And if you were in my house right now in this office, you would see sticky notes all over the place because I need reminders. I do. So that's what I do. The other thing I'll say, and this is a question I've really thought about because I get it a lot. The work I do is spiritual work for me. It's spiritual work. It's not work that necessarily drains me or tires me out. Now, if you had me in accounting or you had me at a desk job where I needed to sit and punch in numbers all day, that's not me. I would be very depressed probably, and I wouldn't be successful. I'm in a role that plays to my strengths, which I'm very, very grateful for. That's something that my boss, Gary Vaynerchuk, identified. But I've been in those other jobs where I have to sit there in a marketing meeting and talk about, is it, I don't know, is it red? Is it blue? Is it caps? What font is that? And I'm like, no, you don't need me for that. There's people that do that. So that is the thing. But also, listen, I've had a lot of lived experience and work experience. So I do know me. But like I said, if you would have asked me years and years ago, I'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Everything's great. Everything's fine. Pour it on me. But I need quiet time. I am a situational extrovert and proud to be.
It's good to know, Starstina, that Claude is human. And we're going to bring you back in, Alexandria, for another question. And then I think we'll do time for one more quick round, and then I'll end with just Claude and I. But again, Kedma, thank you for being here. Starstina, thanks for being here. Alexandria, thanks for being here. And Claude, thank you for taking the time.
Thank you. I hope we can all connect.
Yes.
Oh, we will.
Yes.
I'll make sure we connect for sure. Alexandria Nicole. Yeah, Alexandria Nicole, jump on in. The mic is, let me actually change a little screen here a little bit. It's good to do it. There we go. Let me do it this way. Claude here. Very good. Alexandria, the mic is yours, please.
Yeah. So, all right. So, is your role as the Chief Heart Officer, okay, where you're focusing on empathy and human connection. I've got them written down. How do you cultivate culture where employees feel seen and valued?
Yep. That is the soil to what we do, and we do it over and over and over. So when you are applying and you're going through your 5th, 6th, or 7th interview, right, before we hire you, we've gotten to know you and you've pretty much gotten to know our culture. You're coming to Vayner, coming to this company for a very specific reason. Otherwise, you would go to any advertising agency, right? You're coming for Gary and our methodology and all of that. In the interview process, we are telling you what our culture is like. It's one thing to tell. And then your day one, we show you. And they have orientation with me, our head of DE&I. And then for the rest of the week, they meet with subject matter experts, creative team, all this. That hour that I spend with them is basically confirming with them what it is they heard in that interview and walking them through our beliefs, why we believe what we believe, and how we bring that to life. Psychological safety. I'll talk about what it's like to create an environment. I'm not going to quote Project Aristotle or all of that stuff, but to create an environment. My aim is to create an environment where you can express what you're afraid to express, because we're probably going to get some great creativity out of that, right? And we're a creative agency. Then I'm going to talk about the need for belonging and connection. And everything in our 2000 plus is all based on this connective tissue. And all these connections is care. How do we care about one another? How do we take care of each other while taking care of ourselves, right? So they're going to hear that in this talk, and then they're going to do an icebreaker where everyone's going to get to know one another in another way. And then we're going to talk about like the difference in what care, compassion, and candor sounds like in a sentence and what it doesn't sound like in a sentence. So they can just start to hear how we communicate. And as I said, I'm not sure if you were on the screen, it's not a utopia. It's a work in progress. So
Sure.
when I got this job, my only job description, still to this day, 10 and a half years later, is to touch every single human being and infuse the agency with empathy. Okay, well, I had to figure out, how was I going to do that at scale? How was I going to teach, train, have other people do that? Because I'm one person. I created something called Culture Champions. They're in every single office. They have a day job that keeps their lights on. I can Slack them. They can be called on at any time to say, you know what, I heard Billy just lost his grandfather. Would you go check in on him, see if he wants to take a walk, right? Or see if he wants to go home, whatever. This person doesn't feel safe taking something today. That's okay. Let's go check in on her. If I don't have the time, there's plenty of people. There's a whole, so I was never in HR, but I took it over and I call it people and experience because that's what we are, right? So even that naming convention is so different. And there's HR business partners, as you would know them, who take care of each and every person, along with me, along with all of the leaders. We have core competencies that spell out foundational core competencies, our expectations of you. Of course, it varies at different roles. Communication, accountability, growth mindset, and leadership. And if you are just coming in as an account supervisor or account manager, they're going to be very different if you are a creative director. Here is going to be, you're learning how to be the bigger person. Here's going to be, you are the bigger person in every situation. These types of things are on repeat. And there's nothing on our walls because, I mean, there's art, but we need to make them actionable so they can become in the water that we drink, so that they become habitual. Appreciation circles, that's a big thing I do on Monday mornings. You know, these types of things are so important because otherwise people are like, well, I got to get to work. I don't have any time, you know, hustle culture and like everything's urgent. And it's like, but is it? Like, but is it? You want to sell more cookies at Walmart? We are not curing any kind of illness. We are not. Yeah.
So good. Thank you, Claude.
Repeat. It has to be, and you know this, consistent. It has to be consistent.
No, Claude, I appreciate this. We have about 5 minutes to go. So I think what I want to use the time is just to give back real quick to these three ladies, and then I'm going to close with you and me, Claude. But Kedma, just tell Claude and the 45 million people watching us live now who you are, and one sentence quickly and how to reach you, and then I'll call on you, Starstina Alexandria. Kedma, the mic is yours.
Well, my name is Kedma. It means to move forward. You can always reach me from Ramon. But if you can't find it there, you can go Kedma O or Superhero or TEDx. But I'm going to be able to be found because I'm going to be connecting with Claude, and he'll know how to find me. And
okay, I'm writing.
Claude. This is for everybody. I'll connect you, Claude, but Kedma just for the people.
Yeah, so you can reach me through just Kedma, KEDMAOUGH.com, or Ninja VA. I do a lot of Ninja VA, and it's been such a pleasure. And I'm going to get the book, of course. But thank you so much. It was great.
I love the Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Yes.
She lives that fully. Starstina, same with you. Who do you serve? Who do you want to connect with? And how can they find you? Website or whatever you want to give. Same with you, Starstina. And you're on mute. That's okay.
Yes, you can find me anywhere. Stars Tina with a Z, and website Elevate 360 Center. And I work with women that are struggling in their life, and I use fitness, exercise to help them get through those traumas and tragedies. Today was great. I learned so much and had a lot of great fun. Thank you, Claude.
Thank you.
Thanks for saying yes, Starstina. Alexandria Nicole, my 7:30 a.m. Buddy. Tell the people who you are, who you serve, and how we can reach you, Alexandria.
Guys, I hope. Thank you, Alexandria Nicole. You find me on LinkedIn and Facebook, Alexandria Nicole, and just DM me. I'm accessible. I love it. But yeah, Claude, I want to connect with you. I'd love to have you on my podcast.
Thank you. Let's do it. I would be honored. And thank you for the questions, and just like Ramon, of course, thank you for creating the space for us.
Ramon.
Connections. Like, I mean, come on.
You all are welcome. You know, I'm going to shift the screens now, ladies, but we'll be in touch. But I'm going to bring up just me and Claude. Thank you. There it
Bye,
is.
guys.
Thank you all.
Thank
See you on the.
Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you.
All righty,
Great to meet you.
Claude.
Great.
Thank you, Claude.
What a
for doing this.
fantastic
Those are-
scream. That was
mean,
a
they-
great scream. Thank you.
Thank you. The three of them, we've gone, so much together, and they join me on my shows and et cetera. But Claude, again, thanks for being here. And I think as we kind of wrap up, it's open. It's not a specific question. I just want to leave time for you just to reset, recap, be yourself at work. I mean, it's such a fitting with your corporate title, Chief Heart Officer. Just recap, Claude, whatever's for you. Talk to the people. People will be seeing this. They're watching it live. Somebody will be watching it on demand after for years to come. Be yourself at work. The mic is yours, however you wish to end today's session.
Thank you. This book is a roadmap to how you can better show up in life. I call it work because that's where we're spending our time. The book is in 3 parts. It starts with you. You are the CEO of you. Now, if that is true, then why and what is holding you back from showing up? Let's walk through that. Okay. And then we're going to do some exercises where we're going to break that lie that I told you about and come up with something that's much more powerful. Then the book goes into you on a team and you being able to rally a team through resistance, adversity, all of the EQ, emotional intelligence traits, but also like how you deal with conflict, right? How you deal with bad news. And then, so there I have a whole thing called like the seven traits of a citizen. And then it's you as a leader creating and co-cultivating culture. And so it builds and builds and builds. I wanted this book to be something that anyone could pick up this page and then just learn whatever they wanted to know. Like there's a lot of stories. Crisis doesn't create team character. It reveals it. Oh, okay, cool. Owning your leadership. Cool. All right. That's awesome. Like these are, I just wanted it to be easy. Listening with a leader's mind. Okay. I wanted anyone, wherever they are, student, C-suite, doesn't matter, to be able to pick this book up and get something out of it. Because as you said, it's not mine. I didn't write it for Claude. I wrote it because I actually think it can help us in the workplace. And I don't think it's hard. So thank you.
No, you're welcome, Claude. And thank you so much. And I did one more question came to mind. I want you to talk to a certain person. Okay. That's the final question. I need you to talk to the entrepreneur, to the startup. It could be the $1 billion CEO who says, Claude, I don't know why I feel like crying. I don't know. I cry very easily, but I don't know why. But who says, talking to myself, who says, I don't have time for this. She's all that in a bag of chips. We got to hire. She doesn't know what it is to have demanding clients. Don't you know we're a public company? Don't you know we're a private company? Don't you know we're degrees from insolvency? Doesn't she know that I just need to hire the people to do the coding, to get it done? I got to go. Doesn't she know that I haven't even seen my kid in 4 days? I've slept on the freaking couch. Talk to that person. Is this for them, or just only for the companies that are kind of perfect?
I do know that you are grinding. I do know. A, I have been there and had my own company. B, I work for Gary. I know that you're grinding and I know that you're hurting and I know that speed is the biggest KPI. If you do not create human connection, those people are not going to stay. You want to pay them $3 million? Maybe they'll stay. But there is no retention without connection. Oh, I never thought about that. There is no retention without connection. There is no retention without creating a space for people to belong, whether or not it's in the culture or these micro cultures, which are called ERGs, whatever that is. But you, my friend, the entrepreneur, owe it to yourself and owe it to all of these people who are going to make you $1 zillion when you IPO to treat them well. That is not saying to coddle them. It is saying to hold them accountable to the job that you hired them to, and also let them connect with one another. They don't want to grind all the time like you. It's your name's on the door, right? But we have to connect. You want to retain people. Why? Because then you have longevity. Then you have IP. Then you have loyalty. Then you have word of mouth referrals, so you don't have to pay your recruiter 33%. you know, it's not that hard. And I get it. I get you're out there grinding, but I also tell you right now, you got to find talent, and you want to find talent that is going to be there with you.
I love it. Claude Silver, thanks for saying yes. Author of Be Yourself at Work, Chief
Thank
Heart
you.
Officer of VaynerX, beyourselfatwork.com. And I will connect you to the ladies who did it. But I always say if I give an executive 5 minutes extra of the time,